In today's video, you are going to meet a client who traveled all the way from Arizona to Michigan for me to help her reverse her pincer toenails. And you'll also hear an amazing story about a surprise wedding. So stay tuned.
Not cold where we're at. Yeah.
Like
when did you guys get into
really
town?
Nice because it's not humid.
Last night, yeah. Midnight, so.
It's not humid here in early fall and stuff.
If you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe and click the bell to turn on your notifications to know when I upload my weekly video, and be notified if your comment got the most likes and will be featured in an upcoming video.
Yeah.
The trees.
See, me too.
Yeah.
And he's like the mountains, and I'm like, you know, the mountains are great,
just different.
but
It's a different beauty.
It is, because the mountains are beautiful, and I like doing the, you know, camping and hiking thing and all that, but yeah, you know, like,
I mean, we were in
show me
Sedona
a tree,
and
I
it was
just
so
melt.
beautiful.
It's like, yeah, but it's really dry.
It's
you
so
know,
dry.
And yeah, there is really.
All right, we're gonna bend
His
your
mom
knee.
came to visit us.
You guys need a pool.
But
They're like, here she comes.
and they will jump on me, and he has to get him out. He carries a comb. He has to flick them
When we
off.
first moved out there, we saw some lady walking the dog. She always carry a
Craziness.
comb because those get on you. Watch it.
And I come home, and I'm like, he picks out like 37 thorns out of my side because there was like a dust storm, and I happen to be near cactus or something.
Did you
It's
guys
like
just move out there
craziness.
for retirement?
My work.
Yeah.
Oh.
Transferred out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But
software
yeah,
engineer.
but we were going to
Okay.
retire at the end of this year, but now that COVID, we're going to do 2 more years.
Right.
But because of his work is actually moving us to Tucson. Because of COVID, they're shutting down.
I will answer the most frequently asked question on my channel. Why don't you wear gloves? Number 1, I am a licensed nail technician in the United States, and we are governed by a board of cosmetology that has rules for patron protection and disease control. This is not the medical industry, and we do not expect to make people leak. But if we do, we have protocol to follow and will put on gloves. The best way to protect yourself from germs is washing hands. I wash my hands before and after each service, and the client's feet are being washed and disinfected in the pedicure tub the entire time. We also use hand sanitizer in between as an extra measure. Number 2, glove use is not to protect the client. Gloves are not sterile. They are made in a factory where people handle and pack the gloves without wearing gloves, and they're all squished in the box all together. Sterile gloves are individually wrapped, and that is for the doctor's use. Number 3, I'm not going to contract fungus from touching it. Fungus needs a warm, dark, moist place like shoes to grow. It's not impossible, but it certainly is improbable, and in nearly 30 years of doing nails, I've never contracted any adverse conditions from a client. Number 4, you do not have the same feel, touch, or control while wearing gloves. And yes, doctors wear gloves, sterile gloves, while doing surgery because they are elbow deep in body fluids, and I am not. Number 5, it is not a law in the United States to wear gloves. It is an option in the beauty industry, but we don't wear gloves to give manicures, haircuts, facials, or massages. So I hope this clears up why I don't wear gloves.
I was a kid, but I made an impression because, like,
Yeah.
you can't believe that's underground.
Well, we just did that last Christmas. We went to El Paso and met some friends, and then we all went to the caverns.
Yeah.
And it was definitely way more than I ever thought. I was kind of like,
We're driving to, and she's like, "Oh, we should go there." And there was a kid, and then I went in there, and I was like totally underwhelmed. I'm like, I should take you to a cavern. That's a cavern. You think this is impressive?
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I mean, I was like, wow. Yeah, because I'm
Carl's
from
Bend
the
Cavern
east
is
where
like-
it's all little stuff.
Right.
You know?
Carl's Bend
Yeah.
Cavern is like seeing a canyon or the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Good analogy.
Very true.
So when are you guys flying back?
Tomorrow.
Did you get a good price on tickets?
Yeah,
'Cause
actually, yes,
Yes,
That's why, yeah.
I'm gonna leave this
That's great.
piece with
Come
you.
Monday, leave Wednesday, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of worked out because we had done some traveling before the whole COVID thing. That we got our hotel free, we got our rental car free, and he got to be free, and I just had to pay for my ticket.
That's
So,
fabulous.
yeah. So I was like, you know, it's a little more.
I'm so
than-
lucky.
Yeah. I was like, my mom was like, are you out of your mind? I'm like, Mom, I'm not. Okay, this lady works magic. So.
Well, now we just have to get people in your area working magic for you.
Yeah.
That's the way you get booked at.
I have this favorite lady, but the last 2 times she was just like thinking they were, and then, you know, with the whole COVID thing, I was figuring, boy, she's gonna be like, forget it, not gonna. But she was the first one ever that used like that used like a Dremel thing to sand them down. So kind of when I saw your thing, I was like, okay, well, you know, at least she was on the right track.
Right.
I was thinking maybe I should just take this and be like, look, you know, you need to follow this. Look.
Yes.
Type of thing. But I don't know. I don't know. I just felt like it was gonna be worth it. Because honestly, I thought at least I'll be able to learn how to do it if all else fails. And that's what I kept telling my husband.
Yes.
Just taking the big curve off the top and making it real thin. The nail's gonna be very thin in this top center, but still kind of thick on the outside edges a little bit.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Stuff is getting, you know, it's pushing up the center of your nail, and when it gets pushed up, it's pulling in the side.
Right, yeah.
So we have to prevent stuff from getting embedded down
Up
in
on the
there
inside,
too.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And when it gets too long and people aren't cutting them short enough, then it's banging on your shoe, and you can see these lines here, and that's when you know
Something
that
that
it's, yep, right here in your matrix, and then it's almost got like a hiccup in the nail plate growth.
Yeah.
So once we get it short enough, thin it out, get the nail mycosis on it, the shape will change, you'll be able to cut it, it won't get too long, and it'll all go back to normal.
So I know that mycosis stuff looks miracles after reading your thing.
Yes, it does.
But I mean, I know I did get. I mean, when I moved to Florida, I got this kind of a pedicure for my first time ever, and I think this is what gave me the toenail fungus. And that was like back in 1998-ish, before you ever really kind of heard about it. You know?
Right.
Because then, like, to me, it seemed like it blossomed in 99 and 2000.
Oh, okay.
Like, so that's what's going on with my toenail, you know, because they like changed, just the 2 big ones.
Just the 2.
And so I went to a podiatrist, and he did like,
Did you test it?
yeah, he took this, like a swab from underneath my toenail, put it in a petri dish. I came back, he showed me this black furry fungus. I was like, oh, that's disgusting. And he was like, okay, this is what we do. I went and got a blood test. He gave me a prescription. I took this pill for every day for 30 days. Then I had to go get another blood test to make sure it didn't damage my liver too much so I could take the second. So I did that. I did like 3 blood tests to do the pill 3 months in a row. And supposedly it was cured. But I really never saw, like, you know, to me, I mean, you know, yeah, it didn't look, you know, as like colored and all that, but it still didn't, to me, look that great. You know what I mean? It still was like funky looking a little bit. And then I was for a long time taking this blood pressure medicine called Meticulous, and I don't know, it was just like, for some reason, I just kept thinking, you know, as I'm aging, my toenails are getting like this. This is weird.
Right, they're changing.
And all that stuff, yeah. So I started looking up the shape of the toenails, and I found out it was pincer. And then, I think it's because my daughter was on blood pressure medicine. I just started looking up side effects of it. And I saw when I was taking, it said pincer toenails. So I was like, son of a gun, that's what the deal is. Well, I haven't taken Meticulous since then. I was like, screw this, I'm not taking it. And that was probably December of 2018.
Okay.
So I have not noticed a change at all. So I just figured I need to just start from,
Right.
yeah. I need a professional. I need to.
Well, I hope in 4 weeks you send me a picture
Oh, you got it.
of
I will
what
do
your
whatever
nails
you
look
want me to do.
like.
Yes.
And then I can include it in the video.
Yeah. I'm a dental hygienist, so I'm all about preventative and, yeah, I really,
Conservative care.
yes. I really have to commend you on the whole YouTube thing and
Oh, thank
everything, and
you.
now Nail Academy Salon, all this. It's like, wow. I mean, when I started checking you out, I was like, wow, you're like famous.
I juggle a lot.
Yeah. And you're absolutely gorgeous, by the way. I'm like,
Oh, thanks.
yeah. I was like, wow. I was expecting an older looking woman, and you know, you even said in some of your stuff, you say like, you know, my eyes like to break now and stuff like that. I'm like, you look like a teenager.
Oh, no.
You look great, you really do.
Oh, thanks. Especially after this whole lock-in thing, and I gained 15 pounds. I don't feel like I look like myself.
So is
You know,
that
you could learn to do this for
I'm
her.
going to have to be doing it one day, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, so I'll give you a quick little lesson. You have to use your fingers to balance.
Okay.
So you got an anchor point,
Right.
top and bottom,
Okay.
or I guess across the toe.
Okay.
So thumb
That's a
and
full control.
forefinger,
Right, okay.
and then your pinky.
Okay.
And then you're just gonna make a little tiny alley up the nail in the
Okay,
center. So you're gonna,
Okay.
because if you go too far, you might accidentally hit the skin.
Right, okay.
But your
Just get the
pinky's
crown
there,
out.
so if you go too far, you're gonna hit yourself first,
Right.
so you don't hit her. And it won't hurt you if you do hit you.
Okay.
Then once you have the thickness from the center gone, then you can move to the side, and you just do a tiny bit over there. And then move to the side.
So her pinky is her fulcrum.
Right.
Finger, yeah, just like,
Do a tiny bit there.
yeah.
Alright, so now we're going to straighten your foot all the way out.
Shell in all the beds, and just put like these, tried to find just like 2 or 3 plants that were like beach friendly, that didn't like shed leaves, you know, type of thing. And that's what I did.
Nice.
And took out all the carpet in the house and put all tile on the floors, painted everything to make everything look kind of new and crisp. Painted the outside, got new roof, got new windows, changed the master bath from a single sink to a double sink. So I was like, bam, let's do it.
Do you still have that house?
Yeah, so we've been renting it ever since.
Nice.
And it's like been my job. That's my job, because whenever it's about 3 o'clock, my poor 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock patient weren't really getting what they deserved.
Right.
My hand was getting numb, it was cramping, I wasn't able to feel it, you know, for a while.
Right.
My brother, who's a chef and is older than me, has had carpal tunnel surgery like 3-4 times. Still wears a brace, still very much in pain. So I really didn't want to go down that path.
Yeah.
So George was like, yeah, just stop, do something else. So I
Nice.
worked at Home Depot in like the paint department, and then customer service, and I was ready to go like do all the departments and learn how to redo a whole entire house and stuff, you know. So I think the next thing I'm gonna do when I move to Phoenix, I think I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work at Lowe's in the kitchen department, because in like 2-3 more years, I want to redo the kitchen in the house we rent, and then that house will be perfect.
And you probably get a discount on all of the stuff.
And plus, I'll know the new latest and greatest, and I'll be able to DIY it, hopefully, you know, so.
I love DIY.
Yeah, I could tell you did. I could tell you did.
I'm starting to make some improvements in my laundry room. And we just redid our deck. We finished it last weekend. Yeah.
But, you know, as a hygienist, I'm somewhat meticulous, so I don't know, I felt like I could relate to you and professionalism and stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you just, like, did you just start getting complicated patients and start realizing there's a niche for it?
No. I've been doing this kind of work my entire career. I just started filming it.
Really?
Yeah, and people just didn't realize that there's so many people all over the world who have, you know, complicated issues going on with their feet.
Clients are looking for you. Join me. Do you have what it takes to help change people's lives? Join my network. I'll teach you everything you need to know.
Oh, yeah.
That's because she files it like that. She's like a freak, I don't know. But I was like, send me a picture, Mom, because I told you, she was the only one that was like, are you out of your mind? I'm like, no, I'm not going to be 77 and not wearing sandals in Florida.
You're
like
77?
you. No, my mom.
Oh, I'm like, whoa.
No, my mom.
Okay.
But, you know, she lives in Florida. She's born and raised in Florida. She lived there her whole life. And now, at, you know, from 70 to 77, she won't wear sandals. She won't show her toes. So, you know, she's got all these, like, little half sandals and little, you know, like half pump things that she wears all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes her, you know, I'm like, Mom, that's old lady look. And she's like, I know, but I can't show my ugly toe. So I was like, send a picture. I'll show her and see if she can do anything to help you out.
I'd be happy to look at it.
Okay, cool. So you started your school, actually, so are you?
It's all online, so everything is automated. They watch the video classes, do homework, take quizzes.
Do they have to, like with nursing, I did LPN and we would, like, have to go to somebody and show them our skill. Is it like that or no?
Well, they're already licensed in the United States.
Oh, okay.
So it's continuing education.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So they've already been taught.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Already been taught the basics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're teaching them this stuff.
Yes, I'm teaching them the advanced
How to do it
skills.
right, yeah. Cool.
And also talking to them about business and network, you know, building a clientele, managing their finances.
Oh, the whole thing. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How to be an independent contractor. Basically, and do this.
Well, letting them know when the right time to become an independent contractor is.
Okay.
So many people think that they should be doing it right after they get out of school or within a year, and that is not the case.
You're so right. I learned that the hard way too with hygiene. Yeah, I thought I could move to Colorado and do it all by myself, and
Nope.
realize that was just a dream. I needed you definitely need a network. You have to have that. Like I could have easily done that in Florida because I had, similar to you, I had a following, you know.
Well, and you have to understand what your clientele wants.
Yeah.
Clients do not want to go sit in your basement.
Right, exactly, they don't.
Clients
Yeah.
like to come into a salon where there's camaraderie. They want to get their hair cut and their brows done and their manicure.
Yeah,
they want to
you
come
get-
to one
yeah.
place.
One-stop shopping for the
Yep.
Yes, George was actually my patient for 9 years.
Nice.
Yeah, before we started dating and
I bet he had clean teeth.
yeah. And like you, you know, he's like, nobody cleans my teeth like you. And man, when I left, oh my gosh, my patients, just like what you said, the garage thing is laughable because I had like 4 or 5 patients say, I will come to your garage. I have to see you.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me.
Yeah, so I teach them all of the back of the house stuff that nobody ever thinks of.
Yeah, well,
that
makes
needs
sense.
to take place in order for you to be successful.
You know, I mean, as a hygienist, I could appreciate that because I worked with a lot of dentists who knew how to be dentists but didn't know how to run a business.
Right.
That was factor I know, this whole entire problem.
Yep.
Second to my last boss, the one where what happened was I worked in this one building and went through 3 dentists, and George was my patient during the whole time. Started out with Dr. Goldstein. That's when we. Yeah.
Right.
And that's what happened. Everybody stayed for the girls and didn't care who the dentist was, you know. But yeah, so. So are you left-handed?
Nope.
No.
Right-handed.
I guess I thought that because you had an instrument or something, left-handed or left-sided. Or maybe you just make them for left-handed?
Yes,
okay.
we make them for left-handed people. Left-handed cuticle pusher.
Got it. I was saying to myself, maybe I'll be a walk in the park for you because, you know, some of your videos are a little bit scary.
Yeah.
But then when I saw the one about the toenail, I mean the pinky toenail, like the side toenail thing, I was looking at mine, I was like, oh my gosh, do I have like a hidden side toenail?
Yeah, yours are pretty easy.
Good, because I was like, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm telling you, she even does like bridges, like with like the acrylic to make them grow straight. So no matter what, they're gonna be fixed. That was interesting. So does the acrylic just like bring the nail to it?
Yep, it just makes
come
like a
up
little
to it?
cast. It
Wow.
holds it in the position of the width at the back and keeps it as it grows up the nail plate.
Oh. So you just figured that out on your own, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I've been
Yeah,
doing
I
that
was
for
gonna say,
26
yeah.
years.
Have you written a book?
No. Well, actually, not about that. I have written a book on how to have an apprenticeship in your salon. I wrote a book in 2010, 2009, 2010.
All about the being a business, right?
Yes.
I mean, quite honestly, I would think you could write an instruction manual unless you're being included. Like, you know, to me, it just doesn't make sense why a podiatrist wouldn't hire somebody like this.
Some
To take care
podiatrists
of their
have
patients.
nail technicians in their
Okay.
businesses.
Okay. I've never been to one that has had a nail technician. As a matter of fact, because my dad's feet were so weird and my dad was diabetic and wheelchair bound because of a stroke. So his podiatrist would come out and cut his
To the
nails
house.
because they were like, you know, well, let's just say we all stood back when he clipped one because you
They
see this
flew.
white thing go flying
Yeah.
from just super thick, you know. And that was the trouble is I tried to do it a couple of times, but you just couldn't cut it. It was just so thick.
Yeah, that's why thinning nails out and soaking them to make them more pliable.
It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys have a lot of people come and visit you out in Arizona
No,
for the weather?
we really haven't. His parents have come out. His brother lives out there already,
Oh,
so we
okay.
kind of like followed him. And then his sister has come with the nieces, but my mom is like never. I was born in Laredo, Texas, because my mom got married there. So before I went and checked with them for the venue, and it was like outrageous. I mean, outrageously expensive. And you only got like a little quarter of the restaurant. They didn't even like private it off or anything. So it was like, for that much, nah. But that's where he surprised marrying me.
Oh my gosh.
At that restaurant with my whole entire family and his whole entire family there. Even his brother from Phoenix. His brother and his wife flew down.
Did you know that he wanted to marry you?
I knew, well, we were engaged.
Oh, okay.
He had proposed to me in
So he
June.
did.
Just
All
presented
right.
the guys of being this is a Christmas dinner that you always want with your whole family, so I got the family together. So even your dad's coming out in his wheelchair, who never ever went out of the house.
They didn't even, the whole reason why we ran a little bit late because they weren't leaving, and because they lived 2 doors down, George was thinking, why haven't they gone yet? Why haven't they gone? We can't leave until
I gotta go and get there
they
first.
leave, because he was afraid I'd see them outside and say, what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
But they didn't know how to, my stepmom did not know how to turn the lights on in the van because they never took the van out after 7 p.m. after
Aw.
dark because of my dad's wheelchair situation. So it took her a while to figure that out. But finally they left, and then George...
I had that on airplane mode. I don't know how it rang.
And then George, it was the weirdest thing. So I get off work, and Lord, it couldn't be the worst time ever. I had a cold sore, I was on my period.
Oh my gosh.
And I just got off work, so, you know, I had the hygiene ponytail, so I had the hump in my hair, in the back of my hair. And because I thought it was just me and him, you know. So I did have a dress on, and I did kind of primp and stuff, but I didn't look as good as I could.
Aw.
If I didn't know I was getting married. So I got married in a leopard print dress.
At least you didn't have on your scrubs.
Exactly. But I was like, wow, do I look like a choo-choo mama with a dress on as my wedding dress. But
That's so sweet.
yeah, it was great. It was a huge surprise. Well, it was like, you know, everybody was there, and I just thought it was awesome. And then he gets up in front of everybody and makes this big announcement and says, this is what he said, and my dad is there. And he says, for the last 2 weeks, Kim has asked me while we're laying in bed, and I'm like, don't say that out loud.
Right, you're like, stop talking.
And I'm like,
stop
babe,
talking."
what are you doing? Babe, what are you doing? You know? And he was like, she always asks me, why do I love her? And I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing?
What are you
Crazy
talking
man, you know, what are you doing? So he says, so I'm going to tell you, Kim, here's why I love you. And he's like, I love you for your beautiful smile. And then my son is, you know, in the audience, so he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God.
Aww.
It was kind of funny. And then he said his parents thought it was funny because his mother gave him a little Mazda Miata. And I had a big, you know, mom soccer band. So he says, and I love you for your big van. And they all start laughing because they know for the last 10 years he's been driving this little tiny pipsqueak car, which I loved. So I was very happy to trade. So I'm like, hey, we can definitely trade, dude. I'll take that little sports car in a minute.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
So when did you figure out that there was going to be a wedding?
Well, when we get to the restaurant, I say, let me go to the bathroom because it was about 35-minute drive, and I knew, you know, we're going to be drinking some sangria and stuff. So we go in right straight to the restaurant. I go straight to the bathroom, which I usually did. So he was kind of ready for that. When I come out of the bathroom, he has this bouquet of all these white roses, like all white. So I look at him and I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, where'd you get this? That's so funny. Thank you, babe. Now, because we're both gardeners, we've always said we're not into the whole cut flowers. We'd rather give a plant, you know, something that lives. So I never expected flowers from him. And, you know, I've noticed as we're dating, you know, that I have to kind of help him out with a few, you know, judgment calls on things and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I say to him, as he's walking me to the seat, I grab his, I've got this white bouquet of flowers. He goes, do you want, I said, looks like we're getting married. So I grab his arm like that as we're walking through the restaurant. And I said, so babe, just a tip for you. Since it's Christmas, a few poinsettias would have made this a Christmas bouquet, and it wouldn't look so much like a wedding bouquet. And as I'm saying that, he's walking me straight through the restaurant. The door opens to go on the deck, which there was outside seating out there, but there was also this one deck area. So we go out to this deck, and I say, oh, thank you to the man who opened the door, held the door open for me. And then I do a double take, and I look, and I see that it's Mike, his brother, from Phoenix. And we're in Florida, and I'm like, Mike!
You must have been a nervous wreck.
And that's how it happened. I saw Mike first and hugged Mike. And then I turn around and I see everybody. My dad.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody. My
You
mother,
were like, what is
her
going
husband, my brother, my
on?
sister. Yeah. My kids. I was like, everybody was there.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. And his brother-in-law was standing around with a video camera filming it. So George does this big speech. And at the end of his speech, he was like, so Kim, you always said, you know, all you wanted was your family to be there. Your family's all here. What do you say we just do it now and get married? You know, will you, or he said, will you marry me? And I was like, he didn't say, will you do it now? Or he just said, will you marry me? And I was like, looking at him going, hey, everybody already knows we're engaged. I've already showed them, yeah, everybody knows we're going to get married. And he's like, will you marry me now? My sister is here. She's willing to perform the wedding. We're ready to do it if you want to do it right now. But I look at him and I'm like, look at him, I'm like,
He loves you at your worst, so he deserves you at your
right
best.
this second. And he's like, yeah, right now. I look at him and he's like, little tears. And I was like, yes, I'll marry you. So yeah, they got married right then and there by his sister, who started crying. It was so funny.
Well, everybody's gonna be crying.
So here and get it done quick and popped in there and got it done.
His mother even saw like a little security guard come to see what was going on. So she intervened and smacked him and took him away so they could get married. I was like, your mom is so
You had
good.
security.
Yeah.
Well, how do your toes feel?
They feel awesome and they look absolutely fabulous. This one looks normal.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
Feel it.
Oh, yeah. Wow, this one looks normal. This one was so, wow, I love it. Pinkies look bad. Look at that one, George. Wow, so I have it like a little, from where it was pigeonhole time.
I'll be getting intimate with them later on. So you gotta see what happens so I can try to replicate it for you.
Dang, wow.
Have an idea.
To Michigan for me to help her reverse her pincer toenails, and you'll also hear an amazing story about a surprise wedding, so stay tuned.
Bed holding down the nail plate, that's when the tip will start to pinch in.
Yeah.
And so you need to keep them short enough where it doesn't hang over the, the tip of the toe. But now that we've gotten all of that taken care of, it'll be really easy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to visit my channel. People like you are the reason for my success, and I appreciate it so much. But remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel for all the latest videos. Remember, it is